Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Mike. Today I am going to be talking about the Urban Decay Naked palette and how it sort of fits within the Urban Decay Naked eyeshadow palette line. I have every single naked palette there is on the planet, so I thought I could do sort of like a comparison and see if this is like a good buddy to some of the palettes that have already come out, because I feel that some of these newer naked palettes that Urban Decay has been doing complement other palettes that you may already own very well. So that's why I thought we could talk about that in today's video. And this is like the unluckiest video on the planet because I already filmed this and then I lost half the footage. And as you can see, I'm wearing a very warm, toasty sweater today because my heating broke down. So I'm having the best week ever. Not really. Let's just get started. Urban Decay Naked Honey is the newest Urban Decay palette, of course, that has come out, and the newest one in their Naked line. And before we get to the comparison, I do want to point something out, because some people were surprised that I had picked this up, because warm tones and me, you know, we don't always go together. But when this was released, I knew that I had to get it for a number of reasons. Reason number one, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to complete the collection. I know, worst reason to get a palette, but I didn't want to have like an empty spot in my Naked palette collection. My second reason for picking this up is because these are the kind of warm tones that I do like on myself. I did an eye look using this today as well, and I will also be inserting some pictures of looks that I've already done with this palette so that you can sort of get the vibe of what this does for me. When it comes to warm tones, I am not really interested in warm toned like oranges and reds. Like, those are not the kind of warm tones that look really good on me. What looks really good on me are mustards. In terms of fashion, because this is how I know that I like a mustard yellow, like I have a mustard yellow cardigan, I have some like navy and mustard sort of things, I have mustard jeans. Like, it's a color that just works really, really well for me. So mustard yellow has always been a shade that I very much veer towards. So to get a palette that, despite the name Naked Honey, it could perhaps better be called the Naked Mustard, because this has a lot of like mustardy tone browns, like this matte here, and also this matte here. I use this in the crease, and I also use this one in the crease. So you get a couple of shades of mustard, and that is a shade that I personally really like. Some of my favorite transition and crease shades are mustards. I really like Rubbish by Melt Cosmetics, for instance, and which is in their Rust stack, I believe. And I also really like the two mustardy browns you get in the Balm's Meet Matador palette. So those are all things that I already knew I liked. And I'm usually not a really big fan of yellow tone golds. But you do get gold in here, so that's not really my favorite shade. But you also get Honey, which is like a brighter yellow sort of pop. And that's the reason why I really wanted to get this palette. I do have to say that if you cover these two up, you get a variety of mustard browns, so that has to be your cup of tea. But I think that wow, but I think that a shade like Honey is really sort of taking the cake here. That's really what adds the interest. And I have found that not necessarily a gold, but something that leans a lot more yellow, like that's pretty bright and popping, can look really nice on me. I have the Violet Voss hashtag palette, and that has a full row of golds, like different variety of golds, and some of those deeper tones don't look really good on me, but it also has a couple of these brighter, very poppy yellow tones. And when I did my review on that, someone also commented on that blog saying, wow, that first eye look on you is amazing with those golden tones. So if I find that picture, I will make sure to insert it here as well. I already know that sort of these kind of shades do really work on me quite well. Today I went in with some of these deeper shades on this end because I just really felt like something smoky and sultry, and then with a nice red lip, I think this is a great sort of vampy sort of look. I wear something like this to work, by the way. That's just me. But what I have found is that I already owned the shade Honey, because I still own this. And I wasn't sure, but it was actually while I was filming the first version of this video that I was like, Could that be the same shade? And I just swatched them next to each other, so I'll do that in a minute as well. But this very old Urban Decay Deluxe Shadow Box has a shade called Honey that is actually richer and creamier and better pigmented still, after all the years that I've had this, than the Honey shade in the Naked Honey. So if I swatch that for you, this feels very thin and dry and a bit tough. It's perhaps a little shinier, it's thinner. I'm currently wearing it dabbed all over my lid. I think that that's something this shade really does very well. It's very much a transformer shade. You can take any shimmer that's in here. I layered it over HBIC over here, and then I layered this on top, and that makes for a very pretty shine, I find. But yeah, this is just, yeah, they are different. I think the Honey in the Naked Honey is a bit more yellow, and the Honey I already owned is a bit more golden. But you can see that this is the one on this side is the Deluxe Shadow Box, and the one on that side is the Naked Honey. So you can see that definitely the Naked Honey one has less pigmentation. This is better pigmented, but it's also a bit deeper. So this is more of an actual gold, whereas this is more yellow toned, I would say. So the Naked Honey is just one that I knew I would really enjoy and that I really saw having a place in my personal makeup collection. As with the previous palettes that have come out, the Heat and the Cherry, if I cover these two up, I already mentioned it's a lot of mustardy browns that you get in here. So that has to be your cup of tea. This also doesn't, again, like the Heat and the Cherry, doesn't make for very versatile looks, I feel. You can very easily do a lighter look and like a more medium toned look and a darker look, but everything will look mustardy / honey colored on your eyes. So that has to be something that you're looking for. So in terms of versatility, I figured that if we looked at other Naked palettes and how this compares to it, we might be able to discern whether it might be complementary to some of the palettes that you may already have in your collection, because a lot of people have Naked palettes, of course, and whether it may actually have a couple of shades or at least be a good replacement for one of the other ones. So let's just start with my favorite Urban Decay Naked palette, the Naked 3. And the Naked 3 is nothing like the Naked Honey. So this is the Naked Honey and this is Naked 3. And as you can see, these two are miles apart. This is more cool toned, all the rosy tones. What I feel complements the Naked 3 very well is the Naked Cherry. Especially if you have like a deeper skin tone, and I feel if this is a bit too neutral for you, then this can give you the versatility that this palette doesn't have, and vice versa if you're a bit more fair toned and this was too dark, or if you felt this was too samey. If you pull in some Naked 3 shades, this can work quite nicely. We have some cooler tone shadows. Naked 2, even though it's my favorite, this is nowhere near what you find in the Naked Honey, so it definitely doesn't go with that. It of course also doesn't go with the by now discontinued Naked Smoky. This is what mine looks like. I barely use this. This is my least favorite Naked palette, despite the packaging being like the most favorite. So this is again very cool toned, so it won't really go with that. But where I think we can find some similarities / complementary shades that make this tie in with the rest of the line quite well is the Naked Reloaded, the original Naked, which is of course discontinued, and Naked Heat. So let's start with the OG, the Naked palettes. So if I open up these two next to each other, I think you can already start seeing some similarities. If you still own a Naked palette that still works very well and you want to amp it up a little bit, I think that these two, whoops, I'm sticking my nail into something, no. If you have these two, I think it can work out quite well. In fact, some of the bronzes that are in the Naked, I mean, I'm wearing this today and also this amber shade, I feel that they give a very similar effect to something like Half Baked and Smog on the eyes in the end. So you can definitely create a similar-ish look with the Naked Honey that you can do with the Naked one. So if you're missing this, if you missed out, if you don't have it, and you are looking for warm tones that are still quite wearable and quite neutral, I do have to say that in terms of like the bronzes in here are perhaps not the same sort of bronze that you find in here, which pull more brown. These go more towards the yellow end of the spectrum, so they're not exactly the same. But I think you can make a fairly similar look with this that you could with this, just saying. So if you're looking for sort of like a replacement of that, maybe not go for the Naked Reloaded, but go with the Naked Honey. So if we compare Naked Honey to the Naked Reloaded, this is one that I haven't played around with a lot. I did 2 or 3 looks with this so far, but I bought this right by the time I was like really into my colorful phase this year. So this has gone a little bit by the wayside, so I definitely need to pull it back in and sort of use it because, yeah, I haven't gotten a lot of a feel, but you can see here it has those like peachy orangey shades over here. So again, I don't feel that this, in terms of replacement of Naked, really gave people what they wanted. It's perhaps more neutral than the original Naked, which is why I definitely preferred this color story over the Naked one, because I always felt those bronzes and browns just didn't really work for me, but this is neutrals that I can get down with. So Naked Reloaded, I think, again, is a bit of a standalone when it comes in the line. I still think that in terms of like what it is most similar to would be the Naked palette. But let's talk about what it complements. I feel that this new Naked Honey palette, like the Naked 3 and the Naked Cherry, complements the Naked Heat. So the Naked Heat, of course, in its own respect, was a very hyped up palette. A lot of people have this. The main thing that people don't like about this palette is that every single look they do with it comes out very identical. It doesn't have a lot of versatility because these shades all have like a similar undertone, much like in the Naked Honey. But yellows and oranges, of course, I mean, I think that if you already own the Naked Heat and you're looking to make it more versatile, if you want to give it an update, and you have this one, I just think that this works together really well. I think that that's definitely something that I want to pull into. The Naked Heat, while very pretty, and it makes my eyes look a bit more green when I do wear it, it's just a little bit too dark and sultry. Like something like this, I still find wearable for every day. If it becomes very orange toned though on me, I think it can make me look a little bit sickly. I will still wear it, for sure, but mostly in the summertime. But I feel that if I pull in this, that it would just make for just more versatility, better for my skin tone. As you can see, this palette also doesn't go very dark, which means that if you do have a darker skin tone and you own Naked Heat, you can use some of these darker shades to make this a bit darker. Perhaps you can use some of these lighter shades of those yellows to get a little bit more versatility in the shimmer range of the Naked Heat. Like, I think, I'm not saying you have to get both. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that on its own, this is a really nice palette already, especially if you have like light to medium skin, I would say. I don't think this is, well, I think it can work on a darker skin tone, but I find this to be quite light. The darkest shade in the palette is definitely not very dark, I think, if you have a lot more color in your skin tone. I'm just saying. The Naked Heat does have a lot more color, so that's why I think that these two can actually make a really nice pair. So if you already splurged out on Naked Heat once upon a time, and maybe you can find some sort of sale, or maybe you own this and you don't own this yet, and you can find this on a sale. It's Black Friday, the day after this video goes up. Maybe you can look into it. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to get you to buy these palettes. I just thought the minute I was using this, I was like, this can go really well with the Naked Heat. That was just my first inkling, and I haven't heard a lot of people talking about the Naked Honey compared to all of the other Naked palettes in the line, which is why I wanted to do this video, because I just thought that we could chat about some eyeshadow palettes again, because that's what I like doing most. So I hope you found this this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you very much for watching, indeed. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make new videos 3 times a week. So yeah, I've got lots more content coming your way. So I hope you would like to stay tuned, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!